Still captain, he hasn't been stripped of the captaincy. And has he been fined?
He's our captain, he's not been fined.
He's not been fined?
No.
Why?
Well, that's an internal thing, but we haven't done that.
Could I just push you on that though? Because when you said the word lies, why would... What kind of message does it send if he's not fined? Is there another punishment you can do in different ways? Is that not the way you like to operate? Can you just try and give some context to what you...
I think there's a lot of ways to deal with different situations. Chosen to have a good conversation with him, understand where he stands, handle it internally, and that's everything I have to say.
And then I have to speak to a lot this season about sort of behavioural issues with different players. Keep going, different types of issues, but still sort of behavioural issues. Isn't there a problem in there? Because even with the Van de Ven thing last night, I'm sure it came from a good place, but it's not very clever for him to start gesticulating to fans that he'd like to have a fight with them. And then you've got Romero, then you've had the Spence, you've had Van de Ven before that, Porro on social media. There's a really long list now, and I'm not blaming you. I'm just asking if there's quite a serious problem underlying all of this.
I understand why I think that's the beauty of things happening once and then you can always go back to it. I think when you're not in, how can I say, when there's big expectations, then we can always discuss if expectations are aligned of where we are in a transitional period, which is one thing, that's fine. And then there is a lot of emotions in these games, and in football, a lot of emotion in football, and it's not going the right direction you want, and you get, how can you say, feels the pressure or emotional after a game or whatever. Everyone reacts differently. We're working very hard on being a cool, calm but still passionate unit that can compete every game, and that will go a little bit up, it'll go a little bit down.
Just finally on the same subject, I understand your answer. Is there a point where though you could draw a line? If this keeps happening, you keep having to explain people's behaviour and things, could you draw a line at some point and say no, enough is enough?
Yeah, of course. I think I've done that before. People being late, there was the Bissouma situation. We talked about that, we draw a line. I think if it's the same exact situation that they do, and you can make a mistake, don't make the same mistake twice. So I think you understand why you mention some players, but it's all different situations and different players.
Can I ask, are the board comfortable?
The what, sorry?
The board.
Yeah.
Directors.
Yeah.
Are they comfortable with what Putin's message says? And have you had to sort of diplomat between them, or have they had now distant what he says?
No, we handle it as Johan and I had a conversation with Koji, and done.
Yeah, but there's no one on the board worried about this. He's done something similar before about when he speaks about ball, he speaks about lies.
Yeah, I think it's and Johan spoke together. Johan and I spoke to Koji, done.
May I go back to Kulusevski?
Yeah.
The information that you gave us. So there has been some sort of significant setback. Is that what you're telling us with this?
No, I started to say it's a complicated injury where it's important to make sure there's no pain in the knee. That's why I got an injection, and that hopefully will help. So in 3 to 4 weeks' time, being beyond the grass, pain-free.
When the pain's is he training or just?
No, yeah, he was training and on the grass, yeah.
And there's still pain and stuff.
He got the injection, and hopefully that will help. Yeah.
Because originally we were some talking in December when you first arrived. You were looking at.
Yeah, so it was not going forward as quick as we thought, but as we said, it's an injury that we haven't seen that much in football history.
And now there's 3 or 4 weeks before we see how it.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks if he's pain free. Yeah.
And are you able to give us an idea of your thinking about who plays in this game? Is it a game where the FA Cup?
No, yeah.
Is it a game where you want to play something
full strength? Full strength. Yeah, all in. Yeah.
Because
we want to win it. Both the game and the tournament is possible, but it's one game at a time. We're facing a very good Villa team. We know that, but we'll go all in to try to win that game. Tom.
Christian's post talks about the need to have someone else that was speaking. You're saying the other day when a great communicator in IS, can you help him when he did a session?
Yeah, maybe. I think things fair to say that England or UK is a very traditional country. We do things in a very traditional way here. And like I say, in a way because we've been here for 9 years, definitely experienced that. It's normal the head coach and manager who speaks up every single time, whereas a little bit more common in other countries that either the sports director or the CEO or whoever speaks up a bit more. So sometimes maybe just to have a different voice. So it's not only me. I'm very, very good at speaking. I'm very, very good at football. But there's a few other topics I need to answer when I'm sitting up here. So maybe, but it's fine. I think the most important thing is that we are aligned behind the scenes, which we are.
And you talk about the need to stay calm. There's obviously a lot of frustration, particularly aftermath of a game lost now, where emotions are a big part. Are you going to hold sort of clear air, talks with your players to sort of reinforce that need for calm, whether it be Nicky and the fans or pushing this on social media?
Yeah, of course. We spoke about this this morning, the meeting we had. Of course, it's a very emotional situation to be in after a late defeat, where you have the feeling that you've done everything right to earn something out of the match and potentially win it. I think we were closer to win it in the end of the game than they were, and then lose. And then when you felt you have done more in 5 games in a row, you haven't got it, and we are a little bit chasing everything and expectations that everything is just accumulating. Well, they're human beings. They get questioned every single time. That's why they're footballers is part of it, but that's not the same as easy. So I like to see some of the guys on social media or you guys experience that pressure out there. I don't think it's that easy.
You mentioned about Mo after the March international for Quakers. Just want to ask, given some of the situation you have with injuries this season, are you fully expecting him to be fit for the World Cup, which obviously would be late?
That I can't see why not, but he needs to come back first in March and show that, but I can't see why he should.
And you mentioned Bentancur, worrying me, why injury caps there. I know you're not going to give much away regarding transfer plans, but does that mean that potentially central midfield is somewhere that you have to look at?
You look in every positions. We also have a few away in African Cup of Nations facing each other tomorrow, I think. But I think when you want to improve the squad, of course there's some positions that may be more obvious than others. But we are out there. If we can improve the squad, we should improve the squad.
Just lastly, I know it didn't work out for Ange, lost to Coventry in the end last year, but we saw what a difficult, bad season in the Premier League can be transformed by a cup run. How much is the FA Cup on your mind as somebody to transform the narrative to give fans a reason to believe this season?
I'm very aware, very, very aware that that a cup run will be fantastic. FA Cup is the biggest cup tournament and a historical tournament, not only in UK and England but also in the world. So we will do everything we can to win that game tomorrow, and then progress to the next round, and then to install belief and everything. That's the only thing we're thinking about.
Thomas, have you spoken to the owners recently?
We contact on text or talk sometimes. Yeah.
No meeting.
No, that's a while ago. That's a couple of weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
And do they just meet to every single day, or
every second day? Yeah.
I mean, when it's sort of like Romero's message, for example, sites the issue with the club. I mean, you spoken to them about that. Is that come up with them?
I think that's why we, on a day-to-day basis, it's Johan, Fabio and Vinay who runs the business, and we take care of that.
Just generally, I mean, obviously the idea is that this is a long project. You've got time. Is there a danger that the club, from the outside, there's a perception that maybe starting to accept mediocrity? It's 14 the squad, the way the situation is, that actually, after a while, I guess used to the results. I mean, is that possible?
I think that's impossible in Tottenham. I think personally didn't come to this club just to finish 14th or 10th or 8th or 6th or 4th, 3rd or 2nd. We want to build something that can be very successful all the time. I'm very aware where we are right now in the moment. I think it's fair to say that not many are.
I mean, you mentioned before a lot of factors. I mean, if the team did finish, let's say, in the bottom half, that'd be something you could say, well, that's kind of part of the process. It's still every day. In your mind, I'm not expecting you to kind of say we need to finish here, but do you think the bottom half is kind of, you accept?
I will never commit to a position if it was bottom half or first. I will always look at the next game and know where we want to go, and then we need to be judged in the end of the season.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Go back to you next week.
Yeah, thank you.